This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching the Morphin Network.
Today's Morphin Network video is sponsored by Ranger Stop and Pop, which is now August the 27th to the 29th, 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia. And Ranger Stock Convention, which is now November 11th to the 14th, 2021 in Orlando, Florida. Go to rangerstop.com for more info.
Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ-owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.
Hi! Welcome. Hi, it's been like about a month, 2 months now, but I'm back. That's right, my name is Jen Pink, and welcome to another special episode of Ranger Comic Time! Yes, I know I haven't been back. It's been like 2 months exactly, but I decided to continue where I last left off, and that is continuing with Mighty Morphin issue number 7 and Power Rangers issue number 7. So yeah, let's get started. By the way, I just want to give a special shout out to Mr. Cody Blight, who is the co-creator of Buttery Show, for creating this beautiful thumbnail for me. Hold up. Why can I? Yeah, there you go. Wait, that's the wrong one. Hold up. Let me just upload it. But yeah, this one. Here, this is the thumbnail I'm talking about. My bad. That's from the last issue. This is the thumbnail I'm talking about. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you so this is Mighty Morphin issue number 1 right here, and this is my Power Rangers issue number this is Mighty Morphin issue number 7, and this is Power Rangers issue number 7. Yeah, and I just want to give a special thank you to Cody Blight. This is the current one right here, I'm currently reviewing. So yeah, let's get started. Hold up. I actually really did like Mighty Morphin issue number 7. Here's a little recap. Since it's been about like 2 months, but I'm gonna catch up because comic book issues comes up every single month. But I just want to give a quick recap that like in Mighty Morphin issue number 7, Lord Zed has basically placed like this force field around Angel Grove, and then Power Rangers are at the moment they're like in big trouble. And I also like this issue because Skull's girlfriend is actually, you found out, is a blue alien from Eltar, who comes from the same species as Lord Zed. So that was pretty cool. That's a little quick recap. And right now, the Power Rangers are in big trouble because they don't know what to do. Candace on their side, but at the same time, like their power coin's not working. So yeah, and they have this fear that like Angel Grove might blow up. Their safety might be like their lives might be in the line. And yeah, like there's so much that's been going on in this issue, and I just thought that it was really interesting how like when I read this issue, I thought that Lord Zed would do complete total domination. I guess you could say world denomination, but it's actually a different outlook that I saw what Lord Zed when he took over Angel Grove. So yeah, that's where I'm picking up where they last left off, and let's get started. Also, while I'm at it, Mighty Morphin issue number 7 and Power Rangers issue number 7 do like the stories are different. Like they're in the same timeline, but they're like 2 different stories, right? Power Rangers is more, it's more focused on the Omega Rangers, Jason, Zach, and Trini, versus the Mighty Morphin features the old Rangers plus the new Rangers, Rocky, Aisha, and Adam. So yeah, just putting it out there. So yeah, but I really like this issue for both issues because they both talk about one common thing, which is the Imperials. They talk about that common ground that they've been, having problems with, which was already for anyone that doesn't know, Imperials are kind of like, I like to say they're like these aliens that can like turn life to death and then turn death to life. So like for instance, like in a couple issues beforehand in Power Rangers issue 4, I believe, they would grab a seed and then the Imperial would turn it into a flower instantly. And I just thought it was interesting how they can create life and create death at the same time. So that was really cool for me to see. So yeah. So let's get started. So this starts off like years ago when Zordon is a guardian. Like this page starts off years ago, like 10,000 years ago, when Zordon finally has his body back, and Zordon is a guardian, and of course him and his buddy Zorfan finds this alien race cult. Like they're worshiping these Zeo crystals, right? And these alien race cult, they don't know how to speak. Like that's the cool thing about this, is like we don't know what's going on, but we just see this alien race core wearing that like cloak, and there's worshiping the Zeo crystal, of course the alien race cult is located underneath the Moon Palace, so we don't know much about what's going on there, but the alien race, you find out, can turn things into life, similar to the Imperials, which was really interesting. So it really got me thinking: are these alien race cult part of the Imperials? Um are they like in the same, are they the Imperials, or are they like something different? So it always got you thinking. So that was really cool. And then it jumps back to the present time, which is the aliens versus Rangers plus Candace. Candace is also fighting alongside with the Rangers. And I love this fight scene with the Green Ranger versus White Ranger. And of course, the Green Ranger is, for anyone that doesn't know, is Matt Cook, which is, for anyone, Matthew Cook is from Go-Go Power Rangers long ago, when he is Kimberly's ex-boyfriend, which I thought was interesting. So it's cute to see Kimberly's boyfriend and ex-boyfriend fighting against each other, green versus white. So I thought that was cute. So yeah. So in this issue, we see like Aisha, Tommy, and Candace, like they all run away, right? Oh, and Adam too. Well, of course, like Rocky and Kim and forgot the other one, Adam, right? They surrender over to Goldar and Matt. And what was kind of interesting here is, it was really weird because Matt doesn't seem like, he's controlled, or like he's joining Goldar and, the bad guy side, right? But it doesn't seem like Matt wants to hurt the Power Rangers. He just said, please surrender now. I don't want anything bad to happen. And it's kind of interesting what he gave his reason, right? So Matt joined the other side, but it doesn't look like he's controlled. He still does care about the people. So on to that next page, we see Zordon and Billy are actually working together. And of course, in that page, we see that Billy's worried because everyone's fighting and he's just there doing nothing, right? And all he can do is just test run. All he can do is just, be an ally, like just do his best. And then, of course, Zordon gives him a heart-to-heart conversation about that's how life is. And of course, it really got me thinking because, of course, Zordon's there and just not doing anything while he sends off Rangers to fight. So he can relate to what Billy's going through. And of course, in this issue, we see that, Billy has been working behind Zordon's back with Grace Sterling. And it looks like Billy wants to admit that, but he can't because, he got cut off. Next thing you know, in this issue, right? I like this because Zordon's old friend comes back. And so Zordon's friend Zadius comes back, right? He comes back in a holograph. Zadius tells Zordon that Imperials are actually destroying planets all across the galaxy, which was really interesting because Zordon, when the Omega Rangers told Zordon about the Imperials, he was hesitant. He didn't want anything to do with. He thought that the Power Rangers can take care of it, but it looks like the Imperials are actually really big threat. And of course, Zordon at the time is like hesitant. He's like saying, "Oh no, people can fix it. People can fix it." But then Zadius gives this like argument saying, "Oh, he's already killed 2 million. The Imperials already killed off 2 million people." So that's when Zordon agrees and says, "Okay, you know what?" He says, "Okay, I'll ask my." So then Zordon agrees to what Zadius said. Zadius asked for the Power Rangers to help destroy the Imperials, which was, by the way, I really like this because like Zordon finally isn't so stubborn this time. He actually, heard it from his own kind. Because remember, Zordon comes from the Eltarian region. They're the Guardians of Galaxy. That's what I like to call them. But yeah. So I thought that was interesting. On to the next page. We see Angel Grove today, and it doesn't look destroyed, which was really interesting. So to the next page, we see this thing that gets really weird, where the scene where this guy snatches a woman's purse, right? So when he snatches the woman's purse, next thing you know, a monster comes in and tackles him, and then of course the monster gives back the woman's purse, and next thing you know, it's like weird. You think the monster would attack the guy, right? And next thing you know, next page we see like Angel Grove is in a utopian stage, right? Where like literally the putties are fixing and cleaning up the city. We see Finster and Babu are actually working with Harmony. You see this beautiful utopian harmony with Angel Grove, where the putties, the aliens, everybody are all working together with humans, and it really got me thinking. Like, wait, is this what Zordon wanted? So yeah, so then on to the next page, right? We see the Power Rangers who are now captured, realizing that it's not bad, and also Matt tells them, "Oh, it's not that bad." Like, and then of course Grace Sterling comes in, and of course apparently Grace Sterling was behind all of this. And you find out the reason why Grace Sterling did all the things that she had to do was because someone had to do it. And Grace Sterling has a good point. Lord Zed is helping people with his technology. Lord Zed is coming, to actually do something. He believed in harmony, and he was tired of Power Rangers' tyranny and throughout everything with fighting monsters. So it really got me thinking. You're right. Maybe Matt, Grace Sterling, and Goldar and whatnot. They're not there to terrorize the city. Maybe they're there to bring harmony and Angel Grove and everything. But like, it still feels suspicious to me because I don't think Lord Zed would be that kind of person. I always felt like Lord Zed would be the person that believes in world domination and all of that. And so that puts a different outlook. So I really thought that when Lord Zed really placed the force field, I thought that what he would do is he would he would grab all his putties and monsters, enslave the humans, and basically work for him to create to power his Zeo crystals. But I guess that's a different outlook. Kind of weird. But yeah. So we get to the last page. Of course, Lord Zed comes in, right, and says, "I'll leave your," and of course he makes a deal with the Power Rangers. He says that, "I'll leave your city as long as you in return you give me one thing, and that is Zordon." So it leaves off in this cliffhanger. Do you think the Power Rangers are going to get surrender and give Zordon over to him? So that's what really got me thinking, because like even Zordon said, like even Zordon, yeah, he believed in protecting the Earth, but maybe Lord Zed had a different point of view in this. Maybe he wanted utopian harmony. He didn't want to destroy monsters. He didn't want to keep doing that. Maybe he wanted something different from what the Power Rangers. And also what I really like about this issue was there's this like cool fight scene, right, where like the white tiger Zord is dead, and the people are using it as a photo op to take photos and like to show that the Power Rangers are evil. Next thing you know, Tommy reactivates the white tiger Zord. But it gets even cooler because then he gets into this big kaiju fight with the putties, and of course, like it's really funny because the people aren't even like are not even for the tiger Zord, they're for the putties, and that's really good. That's when the roles get reversed, and so it really got me thinking. Maybe it's not so bad after all with Angel Grove. I don't like that they put a force field, but still, it's not so bad with what they did. So yeah, overall, beautiful issue. I love this cover art. Hold up, let me put it up. Beautiful cover art. I love it. It made it look like that Lord Zed's a bad guy, but maybe he's not so bad. I don't know. Maybe that I could understand why Matt Cook, the new Green Ranger, surrendered and over to Goldar. So yeah. Now we're off to the Power Rangers issue number 7. Issue number 7. Here it is. This is the cover art for that. Beautiful as always. I don't know. I do love Zach in this. I give props. Zach in this issue was actually perfection. At least for me. I love his part in this role. So yeah, we're gonna get started with Power Rangers issue number 7. I love this scene because in Power Rangers issue 7, right, we see like Lord Draken hanging out with the Omegers. And honestly, he's actually doing a good job. Lord Draken teamed up with them to fight against the SPD Rangers. He fight against, Astronema, Ecliptor, and all of that. Yeah. So like it was really just interesting how Omega Rangers and Dragon, like they're traveling in space and saving as many creatures as they can from the Imperials. That's their motive, that's their goal. So in this issue, it takes place in Safe Haven. That's where they're located at, right? It takes place in Safe Haven, where it seems like they are playing space ball or space basketball, that's what I call it, with Lord Draken, Zach, Jason, and Yale. For anyone who doesn't know, Yale is that big cat looking thing. It was originally a villain, but I guess they turned it into a companion. By the way, Yale is one of my favorite characters in Power Rangers because this Power Rangers issue, because of course he's just a big cat, but he's pretty feisty. So yeah. So on to the next page, we see that Zach actually wins, and I like how they place a shock collar on Lord Draken. But it seems like Lord Draken, he wasn't even pissed off by the shock collar. It seems like, oh, he would have done the same to him. So yeah, so of course Lord Draken's like, good game. So it really got you thinking, maybe Lord Draken isn't so bad after all, because if that wasn't if I did if we assumed that he was evil, Lord Draken would just, attack Zack for, placing a shock collar him and electrocuting him. So yeah. So on to the next page. I like this page also. On to the next page, we see Trini being like Link. She's breaking all these pots, right? By the way, for anyone that doesn't know, these pots have like monsters sealed in them. Because remember, what they do is they grab the monsters and then they seal them in a jar, right? They seal them in like these little pots. And so what she's doing is, I think she's destroying the monsters inside those sealed pots. So that way they can never be released. Kind of like what happened with Kia. So yeah. So while that's going on, while Trini's, breaking pots, Jason walks up to Trini. And of course, Trini doesn't track Draken whatsoever. Like he's like Jason asking her like, "Hey, why aren't you playing with Draken?" She's like, "I don't trust that guy," and I could understand why. So then Jason asks her, "Are you okay?" Trini says like, "Oh, I'm fine," but you can tell by the answer she's not really fine, and it's probably because of what happened in Onyx, the planet Onyx. So that's why she's kind of like acting like that, and I could understand. So yeah. So then Jason tells her that things have changed since then, and it looks like in this issue when they said things have changed since then, because he's going back to like Go-Go Power Rangers when they had some feelings toward each other. So it really got you thinking, are they trying are Trini and Jason by having feelings all over again? Kind of like in Go-Go Power Rangers? So we'll never know. But yeah, that was kind of interesting. On to the next page, we see like the Omega Rangers like game plan, right? They're filing out a game plan on how they are going to fight off the Imperials, because of course they killed off 2 million people already, which by the way was pretty creepy. In my opinion, it's pretty crazy. And of course, Jason says, "Why don't we go after the Zords?" And Jason asked them, "We need the Blue Ranger. Why don't we get a Blue Ranger?" And then Draken's like, blue's not my color." So you got really thinking, maybe Lord Draken just gonna stay green forever, I guess. So yeah. Jason then asked 11 or C what planet they're targeting next, right? What the planet the Imperials are targeting next. And it looks like they're targeting the planet Hartunia. Hartunia is next. So then before they go to Hartunia, Draken says that Hartunia is an evil monster race that invades and colonizes. So they got to be careful about when it comes to those people. So yeah, which by the way is really interesting, because remember Draken has been traveling through space and time, so he knows all of this. Which by the way, he is an asset to the Omega Rangers, if anything, even though he is the bad guy in all of this. So yeah, the Omega Rangers all go to the planet Hartunia, where they go, where they're kind of like in hiding. So then they go to a street vending market, only to be captured by the police, all because I thought this was interesting. So basically, this merchant was selling this puppy like for him to eat, right? And I guess Zack was so pissed off. He's like, "You're not selling me this dog." So then Zack punches that Hartoonian monster in the face, and boom, they got captured. Which, by the way, didn't take them that long, staying in Hartunia in the hiding. So yeah. So then, while they're being captured, they meet up with the king and queen of Hartunia. By the way, keep in mind, only Jason, Zack, and Trini are there. Lord Draken's hiding, so he didn't get captured, which was pretty good. So like the king and queen are speaking to the Omega Rangers, right? The Omega Rangers warns them, telling them that the Imperials are dangerous. They're not to be messed with. You shouldn't get near them. Of course, the king's like, "No, we don't. We have the best army. We don't need help. We don't need safety." And of course, the Omega Ranger says, "Please, we need to save your city. We need to save your planet. Otherwise, these Imperials are going to kill us all. Kill you guys all and wipe off the race." And of course, the king is stubborn. The king gets angry and sends them over to be eaten by Ortavox. By the way, I don't know what Ortavox is. It's probably like a monster. But yeah, it looks like the queen agreed, right? At first, because the queen was like, "Don't you dare don't you dare interrupt my king," and all of that. So then on to the next page. The Omegas are being sentenced to be eaten by Orthofox, right? Next thing you know, these hidden spies, these people in cloaks or whatever, are there to save the Omega Rangers. And you find out that the person behind, saving the Omega Rangers was actually the queen. And the queen of Hartunia went behind the king's back and basically asked the Omega Rangers to save her and their people from these Imperials, because she knows how dangerous these Imperials are. So it ends off in that comic book issue. But overall, it is a beautiful storyline. I think Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers are good. Personally, I'm gonna give Mighty Morphin an 8 out of 10. I like Mighty Morphin better than Power Rangers, mainly because Power Rangers is kind of just like planets from planets from planet versus Mighty Morphin leads up to something. It leads up to something. So for me, I give Mighty Morphin an 8 out of 10. Power Rangers, I would say, is a 7 out of 10. It's doing something, right? The previous issue before that, Power Rangers issue number 6, we get to see this fight scene, like, with Astronema, but, Astronema ends up, siding with Ecliptor all over again, because of her hatred towards Power Rangers. But, I mean, I prefer Mighty Morphin, if anything. So, yeah, 8 out of 10. And then the other ones, and Power Rangers, 7 out of 10. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have for today. I just want to give a special shout out to Cody Blythe again for making this beautiful, beautiful thumbnail. And yeah, thank you guys so much for following me, following our sites. And in terms of social media plug, you can find me at Instagram at jenmessina.com. That is GNMESINA. I'll be more active when it comes to Ranger Comic Time. I know it's been 2 months, but I will be back. Who knows? In 2 weeks, I'll be reviewing Mighty Morphin issue number 8 and Power Rangers issue number 8. I believe Power Rangers issue number 8 is going to come out tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, be on the lookout for my reviews and everything. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Just be on the lookout. Hold up. Hold up. I've been talking so much. Be on the lookout for Ranger Comic Time. Mighty Morphin issue number 7, 8. They released how do I say it? Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers. They release every the same month, but in different days. So they're like two. Like for instance, Mighty Morphin issue number 8 just come out last week, but Power Rangers issue number 8 is gonna come out tomorrow. So that's where we're at. And yeah. And that's how I'm going along with this because they follow the same timeline and storyline. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And in terms of social media, you can find me on Instagram at Jen Messina. That's GNMESINA. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Morphinet. That is MORPHINNET. And be sure to like, follow, subscribe to Dagger Boys Toy Time. We finally have a title for that show yesterday. Sentai Hero Special, Common Writer Time podcast, and Ranger Podcast Lives on Saturday. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all your support, and I wish you guys the best. Until then, I think this is my closing comment. My closing comment is stay safe, be smart, and keep everything 100 or less. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Till then, thank you guys so much. And I guess we'll get it out. Bye.